Holy Ghost Greek Catholic Church, as it was called at the time, opened in 1909 with immigrants from the Carpathian Mountains of Central and Eastern Europe. They found work throughout the early part of the 20th century, predominantly in the steel mills, which sit just below the church property. That led to a massive immigration to this area, which continued really up until the 50s. Unfortunately, by the late 60s, the production in those mills began to slow down. And with that, the men who had come to work here and their families who were here were looking for employment elsewhere. The population of the parish continued to decline to the point where, unfortunately, we celebrated the closing liturgy on November 1st of 2009.
Regrettably, we were celebrating the 100th anniversary of its founding on the same day that we had the last liturgy there. It was difficult for those who remained in the parish at the time of its closing, as well as so many who had grown up there or who had background there in the parish but had moved on to other locations.
The church was packed with folks who had been either married here or baptized here or had family connections here, all coming to say goodbye.
I was baptized here at Holy Ghost Church. Father Hanulia baptized me. The final liturgy was truly an experience for myself. Processing in the holy place behind the icon screen, sitting and listening to Bishop John's homily, I got misty-eyed, there was no doubt. All the past events, all the past experiences that I had seemed to flood me all at one time. I thought, isn't there some way that this church could still remain open?
Following the closing liturgy of Holy Ghost Parish, the bishop needed to come up with a plan as to what to do with this building. And of course, the immediate advice was that we needed to sell the property. But one of the things that also emerged in the midst of our pursuing that plan was an awareness of what was happening in the surrounding neighborhood and the new life that was happening here, the life that was happening in the galleries, the life that was happening in the cafe culture that was here. And the neighborhood had said that it was defined by its churches, its galleries, and its cafes. And so we said, why not take our gallery, our Byzantine Catholic Cultural Center, combine it with this church, and have a cafe here, and allow this to bring together those three defining elements into a single entity that would allow us to proclaim our truth to the world. The bishop accepted this plan to relocate our Bishop Mahalik Cultural Center here to Holy Ghost. And with that, we began on Easter of 2011 with the opening liturgy, taking outside the walls of this church, once again to the neighborhood, the beauty of our liturgy and the witness of our faith.
And Holy Ghost Church can provide the local people, as well as the city of Cleveland overall, as well as visitors from across the nation, a way to see God in a different way, a way to find God.
We've begun the planning process, we've begun the architectural planning process, we've begun the financial planning process, we've begun the restoration planning process. There's a lot of human planning that has to go into this, but we know that above all, it's God's plan to bring His message of salvation to the world that we have to be part of. And so we're excited to be part of His plan.